Rhiannon's just kicking people.
Hi. You don't know me. Not yet. In fact, never mind, I wouldn't want to impose. Unless you want to hear about why I like people.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell you that people are fun, but I can only say that when I'm locked behind the gate staring at me being stupid. But I'm not stupid, I just stand awkwardly hoping that there's a space for me to say something smart or funny, which is funny because that's not why people like me. Why do people like me is what I ask you when I say, what time is it? But you're just not listening to me. I don't actually care that it's 3:15, even though you're 1 minute shy. You must think I'm crazy checking the time all the time, but if I'm not counting, then I'm rambling. I'm probably rambling. I'm definitely rambling. I'll shut up. I'll talk less. People don't care. I won't speak unless I need to, even though quietness terrifies me. Silence is deafening, because unless I fill the space, then you can tell, because I have this look on my face that says, I think you can hear me questioning everything. So I'll look up instead with the same look on my face and hope that I look like I'm thinking about something smarter than, I wonder what I should have for dinner tonight. I mean, you don't care, but I'm having roasted veg sandwiches again because paninis are overrated. Not that you shouldn't have a panini if you wanted to have a panini. You can get a panini if you like. Would you like to get a panini? Would you like to get a bite with me? Oh, of course you wouldn't. I wouldn't date someone who runs this marathon either. It's tiring, and I don't have what you need. You might have what you need, and I might need that too, but knowing my luck, you probably don't. Having said that, you do have arms, and hugs are good, but only in moderation. But not that you'd want to hug me. Why would you want to hug me? No, I wouldn't hug me either. It's okay, a smile will do, or second thought, maybe not. You might mean something mean by it and think something different because I don't trust you. It's not personal, I just don't trust the universe because he likes taking things away from me. It's probably because I ignored him for a month after having spoken to him every day in August. Not that I speak to the universe or anything, because that would be crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm crazy, but I feel crazy. I can feel your eyeballs calling me crazy. I'm not your eyeball, I just think really fast, which is detrimental to a patient actor who's trying to wrap his head around Meisner already. When I say I'm an actor, I mean I'm okay with being financially unstable. I'm okay with being financially unstable. I'm not okay with being financially unstable. But I collect paper, and I like to drown in it, which is to say I'm underneath my workload, which is to say I'm not over the waterworks, which is to say I hold my stomach like I haven't finished crying yet. But I'm not a crier, I hold my own, which is to say I can't stop holding on, but I'm not clingy. Yeah, I can be clingy. I'm very clingy when I'm not running, but if I stop running, then I'll remember to breathe and I'll flood your house. Not that I'll ruin anything, I don't want to ruin the carpet. Maybe I'll wipe my feet at the door and pretend I'm not a messy person. Or maybe I'll keep running that way and pretend I don't know which way the road takes me, and I'll see you when I'm out of breath and not in the way and less scared of silences and less eager to please everyone except me, and I leave my nails alone and my brain shuts the fuck up and I can smile without lying and my brain quietens down and I can come around to the idea of bravery and my brain doesn't simmer to a buzz and I wish I could rest and I wish I could lie down and I've stopped running and my brain gives up this facade. And did anyone see if I crossed the finish line? Because I'm sure I saw a light at the end of the tunnel, which should sound less tiring than I feel, but seems louder than my brain, but nothing's louder than my brain. I'm confused is what I would say if I had a brain, but I feel brain dead with a brain that's on overdrive. It's like a zombie, where nothing important matters, but all the stakes are on eating more brains. Not that I want to eat your brains. I don't want to eat your brains. I just want to say hi, comfortably. And I don't think that's too much to ask. Thank you very much. Hello, my name's Jeremy. I wanted to open with that one. If you couldn't tell from my first poem, Braindead, I'm a deeply insecure person. As a result, I like to write a lot of my poems about mental health. It's sort of interlaced with philosophies and explorations of where we are on the planet, what's going on, who we are, all that kind of stuff. Thing is with mental health is it always feels like I'm not enough, which conflicts massively with this desperation to give everyone who is important to me everything I have, everything I can, but as hard as I try, it feels like I don't have it. This next poem is called Sandcastles. When I tell you I have nothing to give, I mean, my hands are empty. I mean, I'm trying to hold my emotions up like a sandcastle made out of dry sand. Those grains will continue to roll across my skin like an hourglass screaming, your time is up. I am telling you the truth when I say my hands are empty. But I'm also not lying when I tell you my hands are full. I cannot carry any more. Please, I beg you, please don't make me. And I know no one asked me to, but that's not how I operate. I cannot hold anyone in my arms until I am the scaffolding I am trying very hard to be, with elbows refusing to bend and emotions refusing to budge. I'll come back when I'm stronger and have something more concrete to build with. We'll upturn the damn hourglass, watch the sand mock us, smile at the patio as it paves the way for more perfect foundations. In the interim, don't mind me. Got some more digging to do. And by that I mean a lack thereof. Watch me linger in I don't know and squirm with discomfort that this acceptance is supposed to be good for me, like the answer is to reveal itself to me in a shower of blinding light and breath will consume me in a way it never has before, and I'll hear myself like I never have before. Forgive me for not believing in fairy tales and shutting out what doesn't make sense. I hate that I do that, and it breaks my heart when I don't understand, and I wish I fought harder with myself to open up further, but locks are in the past, and keys are sitting in the bottom of rivers. I think instead of fighting to swim down to reach resolute tools, I need to let the current take me and trust that this widens to a more articulate mouth and a better bay with more sodden sand to create more concrete castles. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like the kind of victory that suits me. Thank you very much. The Sandcastles make me think of summer, and I'm in desperate need of it at this point. It's not far away now. I need to get down to the beach. Who here likes love poems? Yeah, no, me neither. This next one's called Shell Seekers. This is the story of the Shell Seekers. See, the Shell Seekers wanted to seek some shells, so they shook out their socks, slipped them on under their shoes, tied those up, sorted that out, slipped out the door, skipped up the street, sang a sweet song, set course for the beach. See, the thing about the beach is that it's infinitesimal in such vast pits and plains of sands, and somehow, like needles and haystacks, there are gemstones among sea-strewn clumps of seaweed and lost waste, and they shine in the sun and should sell for a pretty price if they weren't so precious. So, the Shell Seekers sought shells, searching so high and searching so low, searching as a duo and searching solo. At 4 years old, this wasteland encompassing salty sea air was their oyster, so nothing could stand in the sand against them. Success was somewhere surely here, and as long as the sun was in the sky, the sand was between their fingers and hats were on their heads, those shiny shells were going to fill the buckets. Now, Sam was 6 weeks younger than Sally, and he suggested they see if they can see some seashells in the sea cove, whereas Sally liked the shells she found sitting on the seashore. So Sam sidled on the side, scoped out the vicinity of the entrance to the sea cove to see what he could see, and there, sparkling and shimmering on the cave walls, was a star-spangled ceiling of speckled shells, barnacled to every inch of surface. Smiling the smuggest of grins, Sam sang a song of success. She sells seashells on the seashore, but I found more shells than her shop could ever store. Once I collect them up, Sally will sing with joy. Her bestest friend I will be, even though I'm a boy. Shoving himself against the shell-encrusted wall, he slid his nails in between the cracks. He began with all his strength to pull the biggest shell, his muscles the opposite of slack. The muscles sneaked a peek through the space between each lid, hoping beyond hope their friend wouldn't slide an inch. Straining and struggling, Sam pulled till his face was blue. He'd have to say sayonara to the shell, his muscles wouldn't do. Stroppily circling on the spot, Sam kicked the sand with his toes when something simple and special caught his sight. Sitting down on the spot, Sam focused his eyes real close. Iridescence blinded his eyes, and he forgot all his woes. Meanwhile, Sally decided to settle down in the sand and see the sun settle behind the sea, leaving the sky in pink-coloured clouded wake. A sigh, a sad smile, a shrug, a shiver. The spattering sound of sprinting feet on saturated sand drew her attention as he skidded to a stumble to a tumble to a stop at her toes. He looked up at her with expectant eyes, a grin behind the iris, smile unfading in blinks behind the eyelids, and he held it out for her. She looked down at the pearl in his hand, sun-kissed skin blending in with the sand, and yet his face stood out, beaming unabashed. She liked the treasure, but his eyes shined brighter, and she would treasure them for many years to come, and they would spend their lives seeking treasures that they already had. Yeah, good old happy ever after, right? Don't worry, everyone. One of my best friends once called me aggressively optimistic. And as someone of this temperament, I'd like to tell you that I firmly believe we all have one happy ever after. We don't reach this point without trials and tribulations first. This last poem is called Answers, and I'd like to show you all that we're fighting demons and we all have hurdles to overcome first. I am struggling with something. I don't know what it looks like or how it sounds, but it holds me by the jaws so tightly that headaches fend sleep off like it's a rabid animal that's going to kill me. This sounds dangerous, but that's only because it's incomplete, and the final piece is a wisp of intangibility and whispers secrets I cannot hear. Maybe I give this shapeless demon too much benefit of the doubt. He hurts me, but at least if there's pain, then I know that I'm awake. Not that if I stare at my ceiling for longer than 12 hours, I'll believe anything otherwise. It is for this reason that I run. I know that seems foolish in a forest of bamboo shoots, but I don't see a more efficient way to grapple with those straws. But to do not weave in and out of these choices and paths in the hope of finding a center, but rather to spend the rest of my life progressing through this maze. Solving the puzzle is the fun part after all, right? So, as I give chase to answers with Mr. Man hot on my heels, I have to ask that you are patient with me. It seems ludicrous to wait for a man who runs, but speed was never as simple as science once thought, so circle back to scent and pray that I make it out alive. I remember when the wand was on the cards, so the magic was mine to yield, but I can't hear it anymore. I think it's calling my name, but it's on the other side of the maze, so I guess we'll just stare at each other through the hedges like two tigers in a boxing ring, married in the eyes, tension in the teeth, blind to the Barbary. As you can see, I've not made peace with anything yet, and it leaves me surrounded by smoke and answers written on chalkboards in Chinese and dreams with no translations to hand. The guide is simply pages turned into paper aeroplanes migrating south. It's warmer there, so my answers are at home. The shore whose earth threatens to blister my feet if I stood on it too long. Hot potato plateau. So the question is not where or why, it's what am I going to do about it? This is the language I speak. Do something, do anything, in fact do everything. This is my lifeline, my best friend and my enemy. It is the shoelace that takes me out the door. It is the bike that races me down the hill. It is the coffee that fuels the steam train. This is my answer to everything. If I am sad, then I'll do something. If I'm angry, then I'll do something. If I'm angry, I'll do something. If I'm happy, it's because I'm doing something. And if I'm focused, then thank fuck, I'm doing something. And if I'm confused, then I'll write, because then I'm doing something. And if I'm scared, then I'll run again, because then I'm doing something. And suddenly, I'm doing everything with this barrel of feelings on my back, and I wonder why I'm so tired all the time. And then I blame me for getting to this place, and I'm apologizing to me, and I hate that. And then I'm guilty for hypocrisy, I'm guilty for lazy lies, I'm guilty for the sex, I'm guilty for thinking about me when I don't want to think about me. I want to think about others and cradle myself to sleep in their irises. Because then I'm doing everything to keep them safe, and everything is right and proper and in its place, and the world is right, and I am not, and this is good. A sacrifice I want to make willingly, happily. Take me, I'm yours, the demon is here, I turn to face him, but he is just a rabbit, lumbering loudly. Death is not ready for me yet, so I'm here, and I'm standing in the center of this maze, and the rabbit knows me, and he looks at me, and he knows what happens now. He says slow and steady wins the race, and he thinks he's funny, but it's not March, and marching isn't fast enough, but I'll soldier on into the next mental battle like it's a minefield, with heat radiating from the surface of my brain, like little explosions erupting and cracking the skull, sprouting hair like the flora that follows a volcano, being torn from the ground like a combine harvester hand pulling hair out through my hair like the stress of not knowing where you left the answers. I'm sure I read them in a dream, but my dreams and my memories haven't shaken hands in a long time. Maybe they need to make peace to end this war. Communication saves relationships, and they say relationships sail away, but they follow me over horizons wherever I fall, and I have nothing to give them at all. There is no more trade left in me, no spices, no silk, no secrets. I would like to think that when I say the answers are in the dark, it means I can dig a nice big hole in the ground and let the mud fill my nose so that I'm breathing in the earth's food until it suffocates me. Digging deep leads to answers, and I've got so many questions. Thank you. My name is C.Webb. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube. See you later.